In a series of events that seemed almost scripted for controversy, multiple influencers came forward, asserting that Charles Kirk had undergone a full autopsy, something that, in any thorough investigation, would be expected. Yet these individuals claimed they had intimate knowledge of the autopsy report and the specifics it contained. What followed was a meticulous analysis of this report, an exploration that cast doubt on the official narrative and raised more questions than answers. According to sources with connections to the Turning Point Foundation, the injury sustained by Kirk occurred just below the jawline at the C2 vertebra. The bullet reportedly traveled down through C2, continuing through C7, and ultimately lodged in the thoracic region near T1. While some of the commentators, like Stephen Gardner, are not widely known for their investigative work, they presented these claims with apparent good faith. Additionally, another individual corroborated these details, asserting they had also seen or heard about the same report. Independent confirmation suggests that an autopsy did indeed take place. Although the precise contents remain confidential due to legal proceedings, it has been verified that the report details the entry wound, the bullet's trajectory, and the mechanism of death. The forensic evidence includes bullet fragmentation, the path through the cervical vertebrae, and the associated tissue damage. From a scientific and mathematical perspective, the reported scenario presents immediate inconsistencies. Based on the report, a .30-06 round allegedly entered the C2, traveled downward through the vertebrae, and lodged near T1. Yet when considering the position of the shooter, Tyler Robinson, and the angle of fire, a 9-degree slope with a 9-degree offset, the physical trajectory does not align. Using basic geometric principles, the path described would have required the bullet to pass through Kirk's teeth or above, which is inconsistent with the reported entry point below the jaw. Anatomically, Kirk was positioned with his jaw parallel to the ground, slightly tilted downward toward the audience. The C2 vertebra, just beneath the base of the skull, is significantly higher than the actual bullet entry, which appears closer to the C4 to C5 region. This discrepancy suggests a fundamental problem with the reported angle of fire and bullet trajectory. If the bullet truly struck C2 first, as claimed, it would have had to pass through the face, an impossibility given the documented injury. Further exploration into hypothetical scenarios, including the presence of body armor, was considered. Some theorists posited that body armor could have deflected the bullet, accounting for the reported trajectory. However, the Turning Point Foundation publicly confirmed that Kirk was not wearing protective gear at the time. Even under a hypothetical deflection scenario, a .30-06 round, traveling at 2,400 to 2,700 feet per second, cannot refract 90 degrees, retain its energy, and follow the reported path. Newtonian physics and ballistic science both contradict such an occurrence. Visual analysis also contradicts the official narrative. The movement of Kirk's clothing and the apparent direction of impact are inconsistent with the entry wound reported. Observers and witnesses noted motion inconsistent with a bullet deflecting off armor. The claim that a high-powered rifle round could strike armor, change trajectory dramatically, and cause the reported injuries defies both logic and forensic precedent. Considering alternative angles, one theory suggests that the shot could have come from behind and above Kirk. This aligns more closely with the reported C2 impact and subsequent vertebral damage. Hypothetically, a shooter positioned at a 10 to 15 degree elevation behind the subject could produce a trajectory consistent with the initial cervical impact, the subsequent path through C4 to C7, and the cavitation effect observed. This scenario provides a more plausible alignment with both anatomical and ballistic principles, though it still conflicts with some report details, such as the presence of bullet fragments in certain locations. Another theory, discussed by investigative analysts such as Peak Prosperity, considers an extreme front angle shot approaching a 45-degree incline. While this could account for certain aspects of the injury, it fails to explain the impact on the C2 vertebra and the reported exit wound. Even in this scenario, the bullet cannot reverse direction in the manner described, nor maintain the velocity needed to cause the observed damage. Ultimately, these analyses reveal a critical tension between the official narrative, the autopsy report, and the laws of physics. If the report is accurate and Tyler Robinson fired from the reported position, the trajectory described is not possible. Either the autopsy report is inaccurate, the shooter was misidentified, or a combination of both. This discrepancy calls into question the validity of the official account and highlights the difficulty of reconciling eyewitness, forensic, and ballistic evidence in high-profile political events. From a courtroom perspective, assuming the autopsy report were admitted as evidence, basic geometric calculations with a protractor and elementary ballistic science could immediately challenge the official narrative. In a trial setting, such inconsistencies would be scrutinized by skilled defense teams, capable of demonstrating that key elements of the prosecution's account are physically implausible. Despite these contradictions, several theories remain in circulation. One involves the shooter positioned behind and above, providing a trajectory consistent with the reported injury. Another considers the more extreme front angle hypothesis, although this conflicts with the reported C2 impact. Each theory attempts to reconcile the reported autopsy findings, witness statements, and ballistic principles, yet none fully resolve the inconsistencies, leaving the investigation open-ended and rife with speculation. In conclusion, the alleged autopsy report, if accurate, presents more challenges than clarity. The official narrative, the purported trajectory of the bullet, and the forensic evidence are difficult to reconcile. The investigation remains unresolved, with multiple plausible scenarios, but no definitive explanation. What is clear, however, is that the reported events challenge conventional understanding of ballistics and anatomy, creating a scenario in which simple calculations raise profound questions. For investigators, analysts, and the public alike, the implications are staggering. As the political and legal ramifications unfold, the discrepancies between reported evidence and physical reality underscore the importance of rigorous scrutiny. Analysts and journalists alike must navigate a labyrinth of conflicting data, unverified reports, and sensationalized commentary. Only through careful, methodical investigation can clarity be achieved, though certainty remains elusive. The case of Charles Kirk, Tyler Robinson, and the contested autopsy report serves as a stark reminder of the complexity, intrigue, and high stakes inherent in political scandal investigations.